let's talk about some Super Bowl talk. Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Guys, happens Sunday night at 6:30 East Coast time. This is a rematch from just a couple years ago, 2022 NFL season. The Eagles lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in that Super Bowl, and it was Jason Kelce's final game as a Philadelphia Eagle. But Jason Kelce has been very vocal on local radio stations and on ESPN and a little bit of this and his podcast and whatever, yada, yada, yada. And he says many people do not appreciate Jalen Hurts enough. Many people don't understand how good Jalen Hurts actually is. So, guys, when you hear that coming from Jason Kelce, a person that has played with Jalen Hurts, a person that is now a part of the media, and a person that understands being overvalued and underrated and overvalued and all that other stuff, right? Does Jalen Hurts, guys, deserve more credit for the Philadelphia Eagles' success? So far this postseason, guys, in 3 NFL games, Jalen Hurts has 505 yards passing, including a 245 game versus the Commanders just a couple weeks ago in the NFC Championship game. In this postseason, guys, he has 3 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. He also has 122 yards rushing as well. Now, this regular season, he didn't put up those monster stats, right? He didn't put up the 5,000 yards passing or 4,000 yards passing. Basically, guys, Jalen Hurts is a level 3,600 yard passing guy year in and year out until this year. Until this year, he was asked to really take a step back and really just hand the ball off, right? Now, as you guys know, Saquon Barkley has had a great year. 2,005 yards rushing in the regular season when he had 280-some yards so far this postseason. He's just been a workhorse, right? He has been the man, the myth, the legend. But the reason why Saquon Barkley is having so much success in the regular season and this postseason is not because of the offensive line, not because of how great Saquon Barkley is. It's because of how great Jalen Hurts is. Without the threat of being able to throw the ball down the field, without the threat of being able to nickel and dime it down the field, without the threat of Jalen Hurts being able to keep the ball time in and time out, Saquon Barkley would not be having the type of success that he had this season. Guys, Jalen Hurts deserves a hell of a lot more credit than what he is getting for the Philadelphia Eagles' success this season. Jalen Hurts deserves a MVP award just by him understanding what it takes to win football games. Guys, have you ever once heard Jalen Hurts bitch and moan about not passing the ball enough? Have you ever once heard Jalen Hurts bitch, moan, and complain that he's taking too many hits? Have you ever heard Jalen Hurts complain about anything? Jalen Hurts is a man's man. He's a perfect quarterback for any NFL team out there. He does what he asks, and he does what he's told time and time again. Guy, Jalen Hurts is the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles have been successful the last 4 or 5 seasons. Jalen Hurts is the reason why they're having success this season. Jalen Hurts is the main reason why they're in the Super Bowl this season. Give the man credit where credit is due. So, guys, does Jalen Hurts deserve more credit of the Eagles' success this season? Let me know. James Frank says very clear and to the point. He says, go Birds. Go Birds, go Birds. Oh, by the way, go Birds again. Pepe says, let me clear my throat and so the people in the back can hear me nice and clear. Chiefs 3-peat. This is all you need to know about the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are going to win. It doesn't matter about the Saquon Barkleys. It doesn't matter about A.J. Brown or Jalen Carter or anybody this, McCole Beckman. It doesn't matter any of that. It's all about the Kansas City Chiefs 3-peat, baby. And Pepe, that's why I like you, man. That is why I like you. You are cut straight and to the point. It doesn't matter about the rushing game. It doesn't matter about defense. It doesn't matter about Jalen Hurts. It doesn't matter about the coach. It doesn't matter about the referees. It doesn't matter anything. The Chiefs win. Pepe, you're right. Casey says, I feel that he's overrated. And Casey, I'm glad you said that because I initially thought the same thing. Back in May or June, we were kind of tinkering with some things with like the pigskin pundits and like all that stuff. And I did film breakdown of Jalen Hurts. I was hell-bent of like saying that Jalen Hurts was not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And I said, yeah, he was over, or like he got paid way too early, right? He had 1 year of mediocre success, led him to the Super Bowl, but it was all because of AJ Brown, this, and this. So I went back and I watched tape of Jalen Hurts. Over the last 4 seasons, I sit there. I watched the season before AJ Brown and the season of AJ Brown and the year 2023 season, right? We sat there and we broke down the film. Jalen Hurts does a lot of things. He does everything correct. His footwork is great. His arm strength is great. His reads are great. Yes, sometimes he does test ability a little bit, but when you sit down there and you actually watch the film, not from this season, but the previous seasons, Jalen Hurts is a really, really good quarterback. I would say, if anything, he's underrated, definitely undervalued, right? He got paid because he's a great leader, he's a great mentor, and he elevates the play around everybody around him. He does what he's asked, and he does things the right way. He is a true coach's son, which I believe his dad's a high school coach or something to that effect. But Jalen Hurts is a top quarterback in the NFL. He is not overrated. I think he's overlooked more than anything. Derek says their line coach deserves all the credit. I mean, obviously, you have to protect passing, right? You can open up runs for Shaquan. I can see what you're saying. James Frank says that's 100% right, Buck. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that would do that. He has done what it takes to win. He is that dude. Guys, let me ask you this. Now, I'm a huge Patrick Mahomes fan, right? Obviously, I'm a Chiefs fan, right? And I want my quarterback to be successful. I think Patrick Mahomes would be the only other quarterback in the NFL that would be okay with doing what Jalen Hurts had to do this season. You put Jared Goff in that situation. You put Matthew Stafford in that situation. You put Dak Prescott in that situation. They would probably say the right things. They would probably do the right things. But I bet you behind closed doors, they're pissed, right? Tua, now he's going to speak his mind. C.J. Stroud, speak his mind. Brock Purdy, speak his mind, right? They want to throw the ball. They want to get those dollar bills, y'all. And JM says, you have not said one single correct statement. He says, let me say this for you one more time, Buck. He says, you haven't said one single correct statement. JM, first of all, welcome to the show. Glad you're here. But what have I said wrong, JM? What have I said wrong? And JM says, Barkley ran the ball just fine against Dallas without Hurts. You were also talking about a Dallas Cowboys team that was licking their wounds at that particular point. Dallas Cowboys didn't know if they're coming or going. Micah Parsons was upset doing this, whatever. But we're not here to talk about that. But yes, he did do well against the Dallas Cowboys without Jalen Hurts. You are correct. Excuse me. Pepe says the Eagles are going to regret the day they let Andy Reid go. All off season again. The Eagles players will wish they played for Andy again. I hope you're right, Pepe. Hope you're right. JM says, Hurts complained about a dozen times throughout the season with the passive-aggressive comments towards both Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni. No, JM. Now, I see what you're saying, and you can probably take those comments one of 3 ways, right? 1 of being passive-aggressive. 2, playing into the trolls. Or 3, he has a very, very dry sense of humor. I'm going to say it's going to be 2 or 3. I don't think he was being passive-aggressive to Kellen Moore or Nick Sirianni at all. I just don't see him being that type of person. I do see him having a very, very bad/dry sense of humor. I could see him trying to make like jokes and just be like very monotone, like, why'd the chicken cross the street? Get to the other side. And he probably thinks it's hilarious, but we're all like, what? It's a very, very dry, very straight level sense of humor, right? And I also think he was definitely playing into the trolls, into the media on that, like on the side. Pepe says, Nick Sirianni is going to get taught again. He's going to get taught. JM says he has terrible footwork in the pocket, as diagnosed by Greg Corsell on nearly every All-22 he has done on the Eagles. No. Go out there and watch his footwork the year before A.J. Brown's year, which I think that's 2022 when he came in, right? And then 2023. Watch it. He's not that bad. Not that bad. James says, listen to what Patrick Mahomes said about Jalen Hurts in the last Super Bowl that they played in. Okay, I'll go Google that. James says they use play action from under center, which Hurts cannot run. Which is right. Yeah, you're right. Derek says, what happened to your beard? I'm going bald on my beard. No, what happened, Derek, was it was getting a little too long. It was getting a little itchy. So I trimmed it up a little bit. I didn't like it. Trimmed it up a little bit more. I was like, this seems weird. So I tried to fix it. Then I looked Amish. I was like, just clean shape. Clean slate. Let's get out of here. JM says he started off the season saying the offseason was 95% new and he wasn't a fan of it. Okay. And then what do? They reverted back to the old ways. I'm just saying. It is what it is. Next up, let's talk about Xavier Worthy.